Greetings and salutations.
Bueller. Bueller. Bueller.
Hey, good morning, guys. This is Sam, and you are at After the Bars. Here, let me turn on a light. Oh, that's much better. I got a big old square light there, and shaded with like a hippie scarf that kind of like softens it. But good morning, everybody. I am Sam. You're at the Morning Mayhem show on the After the Bars channel. It's so good to be here this morning. I'm actually excited to be here this morning. I'm excited to be here almost every morning, except for those mornings where you watch so much stuff, to like show prep and to come up with things to talk about. And you watch so much stuff and you like blank out and it's like a block. It like just blocks you from even coming from the heart with anything. And I hate it, but I don't feel that way today. Well, I do now that the camera's on and I see that blue light staring at me in the face. Just kidding. How are you guys doing today? Hello, Sam Splain and Chat. Hello, Chrissy for Cats. It's a nice fall is here day in Montana. I've already pulled out my hoodie crate and I'm sifting through my hoodies to figure out which ones I'm going to wear this year. I have so many, I have to keep them in storage. And it's funny when I was on the dating scene, before I was married, I couldn't keep a hoodie. You'd date a girl for, a couple of weeks or even just a week, and she would end up with like 4 of your hoodies. It really was my biggest gripe about being in the dating scene. But now that I'm married, I have all my hoodies. If I acquire a hoodie, I mean, she might wear it, but it doesn't disappear into the ex-girlfriend ether. In the 70s and 80s and 60s, it was albums. You would date a girl and because you would listen to records. There was no internet, there was no, if you were at the house, and there was no cable, there really was just the few TV stations. You would listen to records, and they would always like, hey, can I borrow your I don't even know, your Led Zeppelin 1 record, or your what record do I remember getting stolen by an ex-girlfriend? Not stolen, I let her use it and it never got returned. I remember one that, it was REO Speedwagon's High Fidelity. I had just gotten it. We had listened to it a couple times at my place, and then she took off with it. And like before I was like gonna like say, hey, this isn't working for me, I wanted that record back, so I didn't want to tell her I was kind of feeling that way, but she was feeling it. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna stop by and get the record, my REO Speedwagon record. And she was like, oh, it's at my sister's house. I'll bring it back, tomorrow. And I just couldn't wait no longer. I just said, you know what, this isn't working for me. I still need my record, and I never got it back. But that one I remember really specifically. I don't think I ever had a Milli Vanilli record, John. But I might have because I collected, albums. So, and they, there was a big conspiracy with them back in the day. So I might have gotten it just for that because it was a part of history. So you never know, but we should do a show on that. Like, what was your favorite record? What was your favorite album cover, because I remember album covers, a lot of great album covers. And then there was a time in the 80s, like when Styx put this record out called Paradise Theater. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. And Paradise Theater, on the actual LP, on the vinyl, they had the theater etched. There were like these angels that are on the theater, and they had that etched into the vinyl. And if you looked at it through the light a certain way, you could see it. And it was pretty badass. Absolutely. Has anyone talked to Sherry LeBrun? I feel like I haven't seen her in a few days. Anyways, good morning, Kim, my other's keeper. Good to see you while you were up too. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Shell Dub in the house this morning. Good to see you. Hey, Max, Surviving Together is here this morning. Good to see you also as well. Good to see you also as well. Incarnasol, good morning and good afternoon to you. Christopher Katz Newton. I am definitely here to do some Samsplaining today, that's for sure. Good morning, Thompson. Awesome to see you today. Susie Q3, hi, how are you? John Lazant, man, I weld from one show to the other. You do need a vacation. Come down to the States and I will treat you well. Surviving Together. Man, I read this awesome paper about the far right in Canada. And when I get done reading it, I might talk about it one of these days. Incarnate Soul, Suzy Q3, Christopher Katz Newton, Tiff 420. Good afternoon to you. How are you doing today? That's so awesome that everybody's here. Susie Oberholtz, was she? I thought I seen her in here today. Is Susie here today? The other Susie? Who's got a birthday? Happy birthday as Friday. Well, happy birthday, Macalicious. Master of Puppets was a great album. I actually did lose that album, but it wasn't to a girl, it was to a guy. I left it at his house and I never got it back. Let's get over your president, Gestapo. They might not like French Canadians. John, when you say things like that, I'm scared of your president, Gestapo. I don't know who you're listening to or what you're watching, but it's not quite the Gestapo. That's a pretty bold statement. It really is. So we'll just have to. No, I haven't seen Sherry in a while either. Yeah, she's popped in when I talked about the stuff in Dallas, and she said she was in Dallas. I can't remember what happened. Yeah, I can't remember what happened. Okay, what can we talk about? What can we talk about? So yesterday I left you guys with a little bit of homework. If you know, I mean, it wasn't truly homework, but I talked about a thing called RAHOWA, which stands for the Racial Holy War. And it is it's kind of a dog whistle in a way. It's a way to associate yourself with other hate groups, groups that, the alt-right groups. Some of them will use it. It just depends, because a lot of the alt-right groups are Christians. The RAHOWA, people who I really believe truly in the RAHOWA, they don't believe in the Holy Bible. They believe in it's a Bible called the White Man's Bible. And they believe that in the future, and maybe some of them believe it's happening right now, or it's beginning to happen, that there's going to be this big, huge racial holy war. And what I was noticing yesterday in those Antifa, if it was even Antifa, protest and the opposition of the ICE agents that were there, and that wasn't the president's Gestapo that was there. Like even in the videos I was showing yesterday, that's just the police. They look like military. President Trump hasn't even sent anyone into Portland yet. Like the military is not even there. When in DC is a different story. When you use the military in DC, that's because DC is not is its own deal. They don't have like if you go to jail, say you get in a bar fight in DC, you go to federal prison. You don't go there. There is no state jail or state, but so using the military there to assist their police force, I think was well called for. And it might look like there's military in like Portland and some other areas, but those are really just police. They have military style vehicles, etc. So I don't know. I don't want to get into a huge argument or discussion about Trump being Hitler or them having the Gestapo, because I think a lot of people are misinformed on that. Yeah, you can listen to one side and you might feel some kind of way about it by that rhetoric. It might spark something inside you to feel that you need to. And I'm not talking to John. I'm just saying you as in general, like people. It might spark something that they feel they can be on the side of one side or other, and then go down to protest, and it's just a big effing costume party, and really they don't even know what they're talking about when they go down there to protest and say that they represent Antifa and that it's not an organization. When I can show you a million papers right now, pictures of the organization and who supports those, but then they get the people riled up because maybe they're lacking some other support in their life or family, or maybe they don't feel accepted, but that now they feel embraced by this movement that's happening in these cities, and I feel sorry for them, and I feel sorry for them because they know not what they are participating in. And they're getting dragged into something that's way bigger than they expect. And that's why when I seen that dude pull his mask off and I was listening to the language he was using, that dude isn't Antifa. That dude's not representing Antifa, but he's going to be right there alongside those blue hairs and those, the people with the old guys with the pink beards and them. Yeah, like, look, what they are fighting for is a good thing. But what they are, because it's good to have two sides and it's good to have debate and protests peaceful, but they have these dudes that are from the other side infiltrating Antifa, wearing the same clothing that they are, when really they're skinheads. Really, they're people that are trying to get the racial holy war ignited, and they might see that this might be the opportunity to get that racial holy war united. And if you don't think I know what I'm talking about, I surely do, because this was me in a past life. That's me in a past life. This is me in a past life. I had many discussions about RHOA and how we could make that happen, and going to protest and pretending to be someone who we're not, to instigate violence, but not as who we are, but who the opposition was, so they would get the negative press, so that they would be combated by a militant police force. And then we slide back in and fight for the racial holy war. So what I'm saying is, when I see those old ladies and those and the the transgenders and the people that are alone, have been alone for 4 years. That you heard that old lady yesterday. She said, what did she say? She's like, yeah, I just been resting for, a few years, but now it's time to fight. She's looking for a purpose. She's looking for a purpose to go out there and be a part of something. She's probably all by herself in her house, that her and her husband worked all their lives for, and her husband, she's probably a widow. And there she is. She's out there because maybe she went grocery shopping and she talked to some young kid who was handing out a flyer for, to be a part of Antifa. Who knows the story? But then they go down there and they think it's going to be a peaceful protest. You heard all of them. They were like, no, this is a peaceful protest. They're protesting. But when they get there, there's all these skinheads pretending to be Antifa, creating riots. I know what I'm talking about. And that's why I was dumbfounded when I seen that dude and I heard what he was saying. And I was like, oh, I know that. I know exactly what he's trying to do. Because believe me, we all had these. Felons, no felons. When I'm holding that, I had already done 18 years in federal prison. Just that alone could send me back to prison. Now, of course, the picture can't, or else I wouldn't be showing it. Praise God, I have been redeemed. Thanks, Kim. I appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I hope they can find another hobby. Who just said that? Oh, Nurse Kim said that about the Free Karen Reed movement. She was like, we all need to get a hobby. It was pretty good. So I just want to talk about how, look, this planet is all of ours. I don't have any awesome speech or anything to say about that. I just want it to be recognized really what's going on. Of course, someone could say, no, that's not what's going on, and this is why. But I looked up a bunch of stuff with the guys who I used to chill with, and they're all on the same page. Nothing has changed. They're either in prison or they're trying to create havoc. It's not about bombing synagogues anymore. It's not about convincing others to go do their dirty work anymore. They think they're smarter than everyone else, and they're not. They're not. And the beautiful thing about being God and being anti-God, if you're anti-God, if you do anti-God deeds but claim you are from God, or that you truly believe in God, God can punish you right now in an instant. He doesn't have to wait until you pass away and until your judgment day. He can judge you right now. He surely can. And there's instances of that in the Bible, and Kim could help me out with that. And there's instances of it happening now today. My pastor tells this story about one of the associate pastors or a deacon, I can't remember, how he was being blasphemous in the church and going against the church leaders, and hopped in his truck and was killed instantly by a semi that just kind of veered off the road while he was pulling out of the church parking lot, and it took him out. Truck driver totally survived, but the poor deacon didn't. And the way he tells that story, it was literally God was judging him right now. So, I mean, God will bring to light what is in the dark, and people being sneaky and pretending to be this and being paid by this institution or whatever organization, newspaper man, whatever, it'll come to light. It'll come to light. I just know that if we just stay in our lane, talk about peace and love and recognizing what isn't, we will be on the right side of history on this one. We will be on the right side of history. So, yeah, and oh man, and that speech Obama gave in London, oh my God, I wanted to talk about that so bad, but I just don't want to talk about politics anymore. At least not this week. Yeah, see, John says it's really quiet where he's at, and it's really quiet where I'm at, and it's really quiet in Iowa, and it's really quiet in almost 85% of the country. All races, religions are all living peacefully together. We're all living peacefully together. Yeah, there was that guy in Michigan just recently. Who knows what that's about? At the Mormon church, and I know they don't like really being called Mormons, but Latter-day Saint Church. I don't think it's called that either. LDS Church. I don't know what those little things are happening. In the middle of our country, but for the most part, this country is in love with each other, and we are living peacefully together. But it's those pockets down deep, dirty in the city where these things tend to happen. And if it's not a racial tension in Cincinnati one day, it's ICE doing raids and protests against that the next. And believe me, there's a heavy population of illegal immigrants in Montana. Absolutely. And we're not a safe haven, safe state. And it's just not happening. I should go to the chat because I don't even know what you guys are talking about. You'd probably be like, no, Sam, stop. We have proof. Yeah. Mac, did you hear me talk about that it was in Grand Blanc? I called me and my dad lived in Grand Blanc for a long time. I called my dad. My dad didn't even know it happened. He's like, well, I'm sure it'll be on the news tonight, son. My dad's so funny, man. Yeah. He's so funny. He's like, oh, didn't hear a thing. And it was like way late in the evening for him. But he's waiting for the 10 o'clock news to come on. It was like Channel 5 Flint's WK something. I can't remember. What was the news station there? KLT. I can't remember. So yeah, it's crazy. What's Mac talking about? Saw on the news here. Yeshua protected female. Don't let Satan harden your heart in the face of it. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Yeshua protected female. Thank you for participating in our chat. If you're ever listening and you ever hear me, and I always ask him to do the same thing. If I'm misrepresenting God's character, please let me know. And I know that's not what you're doing here, but I love that. Matthew 2:4-12-13. Don't let Satan harden your heart in the face of iniquity. It's beautiful. It's absolutely perfect. What else is going on, kids? I heard I'm trying to find it. Hold on, guys. I'm just looking for something. Sorry about the dead air. This guy's crazy. I'm not gonna play that. That dude's crazy. Not that either. Caroline Levitt is about to do a press conference. I don't know, or a press briefing. I don't know what she's talking about today. But I am kind of like just waiting for it. I just want to see what she has to say about some things. Absolutely. Chrissy for Cats. I think I've said pretty much the same. I'm a human for truth, a truth seeker. I'm not either. I'm centered. You know, I might support a candidate that might be left or right. You know, I did support Trump, and I still do. But I'm definitely watching everything very closely. I'm definitely watching everything very closely. You know, I've been listening to some other Democratic people that might be trying to make a showing at the in the primaries this next election cycle, and some of them are looking pretty promising. I'm really interested to hear what JD Vance is going to have to say. You know, he was not a Trump supporter, and I can't remember if he was a Democrat before, but I think if he was to get in that, I think there would be a lot of room to go across the aisle and kind of create this nice utopian government. Not to change it, but you know what I mean? Like this nice, like where everyone's communicating and compromising and doing things for the good of us citizens. Yeah. But I don't know. What do I know? Yeah, just trying to survive and find a little joy. Me too. I have so much stuff going on out here that it would be really easy for me not to even come on and do a show. Yeah, it really would. It really would. Yeah. I don't want to talk about it because I don't want I just don't want to talk about it on here. What else? Let me go to the chat and see what you guys are talking about. I'm about humans being kind. Chrissy for Cats says, I'm about humans being kind and obeying laws. My next door neighbor just lost his 16-year-old nephew to MS-13 gang member. No one held accountable in Massachusetts. Are you serious? That's so crazy. It blows me away that MS-13 is that far up north. It just blows me away, and that really sucks. And I'm definitely going to pray for your next door neighbor to have, because I think what happens is that, you know, your neighbor's probably like, what? My nephew was unalived by what? By who? A gang from El Salvador? And how they're in the States because why? How did they, what? And nothing's being done. I mean, I know Kash Patel did those show arrests when he first, came into his appointment. And as he was doing those, I was not cheering him on, not one bit, because it was all fake bullshit. And I was just like, what? Why are you going on these raids to to take pictures, and they targeted like these really soft, easy MS-13 gang members, and they were saying that these were the leaders of the gang. And I assure you, I know a few leaders of MS-13. I've broken bread with them. I've bought heroin from them. Just keep it real, like pounds and pounds back in the olden days, and the leaders of those gangs, they're not living in the suburbs, in nice houses. Yeah, they have money that they could live in the suburbs in nice houses. No, they're hiding in plain sight in the ghetto, in the hood. That's where they feel the most comfortable, the most protected. And them going in these suburbs and busting these leaders, they would never get close to the leader of a gang like MS-13, because they not only they run it like a cartel down in Mexico. In Mexico, when you're like down in like Juarez and Tijuana, where I've spent a lot of time in both of those places, they have lookouts down the street, and then they have lookouts down the street from down the street. They have lookouts 2 houses from where they're at, and they have lookouts at their house. They would never get caught. And that's how it is here too. Like in East LA and in South Central Los Angeles, where those guys reside, they have lookouts. They have people, they work in shifts. You're not getting close to a real leader of an MS-13 gang. So when Kash Patel was doing that, I was like, this is such bullshit. This is such bullshit. That dude wasn't a leader. Just because he had an MS-13 gang tattoo didn't mean he was a leader. Not every guy you arrest is a leader. So yeah, that really pissed me off when he did that. Yep, too many politicians in it for the photo op. Neighborhood place in Cambridge, a $50,000 house, nice place. Let these people go. Yeah. And Cambridge is like a beautiful, beautiful area. And Christopher Katz-Newton grew up in a dangerous area called Roxbury. This is a nice neighborhood place in Cambridge. That's so crazy, man. That's so crazy. Yeah. The plan is to show us all the crime and corruption so that it hardens you. Jesus warned us in Matthew. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The plan is to show us all that crime and corruption, is to show us all the crime and corruption so that it hardens you. Yep. And that's why I do, like, I feel it would be for me not to at least recognize it and talk about it a little bit, and not even take a side, just to call it out for what it is. And then remind us that we are children of God, and that it's not unless we're called to, like someone like Charlie Kirk, to try to influence our government with values from the Holy Bible, then it's not really our fight. Our fight is down here is like here in the community, to reveal God's character, to abide in Christ. This is mine. And I know there's not a lot of Christians in my community, but I'm just talking about for me. And this is where I'm going to always come from. And it's just from a place of love. Even when I'm angry and I might use a curse word here or there, I'm always reminding myself to abide in Christ, to do what pleases God, and to reveal his character. That's all I can do. And that doesn't mean you have to, although I would love it if you did. But it also should tell non-believers that this might be a safe space to participate in a community where there is no hate, right? There is no hate in this community, and we can talk about things and process things and pray for each other or send good energy for each other. I would rather be in a place where people believed in God, even as a non-believer. I'd rather be in that space than a angry atheist space where they're doing exactly what Yeshua protected female just talked about, is where all they're talking about is the crime and corruption, and it's always them and not us, crime and corruption. And I just mean that in a general term. They're saying them and not us, and that can be on both sides, pointing the finger at each other, and no one's talking about those Christian values that Charlie Kirk was trying to espouse. So I don't know. I really don't know. Well, I appreciate that, Susie Q3. Sam, we need the normalcy you bring and the chaos of this world. This space reminds me there are still good people out there. Thank you. I appreciate that. And there are the people, especially the ones that are all here right now today, are all amazing, amazing human beings. And almost everybody I've talked to through emails, on a more personal level. So it's not just like this parasocial relationship in the live chat. Did I just see Grateful? Is Grateful here? Hey, Grateful. Good to see you this morning. So glad you made it. Grateful says, I didn't know who Kash Patel was until CK's death. Kash Patel sounds like a comedian name. And that's who I thought it was. That's funny. Well, he is kind of a comedian and a joke right now. So let's get away from I want to just listen to hear what old girl is talking about right now. But of course I got to do a million things to get there. Dude, this
adjusted for inflation. This is the same kind of clean funding bill that Democrats passed 13 separate times when they held the majority during Joe Biden's administration. So the American people woke up this morning and asked the obvious question: why is the government shut down right now? The answer is pure partisan politics being played by the Democrat Party. The Democrats shut down the government because President Trump and the Republicans will not force American taxpayers to pay for free health care for illegal aliens. America is $37 trillion in debt. We cannot afford to provide taxpayer-funded free health care to illegals who broke the law to enter our country. To put this all into perspective, the Democrats refused to keep the government open over health care to illegal aliens and now have jeopardized critical health care programs for American citizens instead.
I have something to say.
The Women, Infants, and Children program, community health.
I'll have something to say about this in a second. Because I feel like even if you're here illegally and you're here, you deserve health care. I know that. But this is why. Because if you don't and you get really sick and then you end up in the emergency rooms have to take you. And then if you're hospitalized, if it's something that couldn't have been prevented, and then you end up hospitalized, it's going to cost our medical system even more money of you entering through the emergency room, and then you have to be hospitalized for something that could have been treated. So that's my personal belief that everyone deserves health care, however you're here. But that's about the extent of the free services I think the government should provide for illegal aliens.
Health center funding, Medicare treatment options, and other health programs are now all at risk because of the Democrats rejecting the clean CR. The most vulnerable in our country are being punished because the Democrats want to prioritize illegals over American citizens. And if Democrats actually cared about healthcare, they would applaud the actions taken by President Trump just yesterday in the Oval Office. He took a bold and massively popular action to improve our healthcare system. He announced the first agreement with a major pharmaceutical company, Pfizer, to lower drug costs for Americans. This is a historical achievement long sought by past Democrat presidents that only President Trump was able to get done. Also yesterday, while the Democrats were whining about health care for illegal aliens, President Trump signed a powerful executive order to supercharge American AI innovation and unlock cures for pediatric cancer patients in the United States.
Okay. The only problem I have with Karen Leavitt is that, and I know she's there to talk good about Trump, but I don't think there's ever been a press secretary ever that does it quite the way she does. It's it just comes off so fakey. Like, look, okay, if he did a good thing, he did a good thing, but all the extra adjectives, like massively great, it's like he wrote the press secretary's speech. He did this bold, massively great, awesome for everybody. No one's done it better, healthcare initiative. And then she had the gall to say with Pfizer. I get it. It's for, cheaper drugs. And, I get that. But I just feel like massively great, awesomest, most tremendous thing any president's ever done. And then the name Pfizer to be in the same paragraph is an oxymoron. Unless it was saying he took down Pfizer and dissolved it, and now they are, sorry guys, you Viagra guys, there's other remedies out there for you. So, yeah, she does sound combative. Yeah, Ben Bagabis says it best right here. We spend more on just repaying interest payments on the debt than we do defense. Yep, that's crazy. Incarnaso says illegal aliens cannot apply to government health insurance programs, and you are right. It's cheaper to take regular care of people than it is to wait and only use emergency services as a charity case. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I do feel like, well, no, I guess they can't because they don't have a social security number. There is something in California. There's a medical, they have a medical insurance for illegal, and I can't remember what it was. But it was awesome. It was awesome. I actually went to one of the clinics when I was in the halfway house down on Hollywood Boulevard in LA. They sent us to this clinic where that was used for illegal aliens to have healthcare, and it was like it was a state healthcare program. Anyways, it was amazing. It was amazing. Like whatever medications I need, they would just give it to you right there. You wouldn't have to go to a pharmacy. They treated you. You could be seen same day if it was like kind of an emergency. If you wanted to take a shower, you could take a shower. They had like a homeless thing, and the line wasn't out the door either. It was just like a nice big waiting room, and it moved quickly. It was awesome. I thought it was awesome. I actually, even after I had insurance, I actually went there a couple of times because I was living in that side of town in Hollywood. So pretty crazy. Let me see how many. Oh, okay. Okay. I talked about politics today a little bit, and I didn't lose any subscribers. I could have lost some and gained some at the same time, but I always like to check that number after we have a little discussion about these things. It's so funny. But I don't know, guys. That's about it. I just wanted to say that that's what where I'm coming from, and I know most of you guys are coming from. I loved the comments today in today's show. They were just insightful, and you guys were thinking for yourselves, and that's what I want to start doing. I just want to think for myself, and I mean, I've always thought for myself. You know, I might make bad decisions, but at least I was thinking for myself. And then when we think for ourselves, start from our hearts and compassion and love for one another, and then move forward into the discussion from there. I don't think we can lose living like that. And I think we'll be on the right side of history inevitably. And, you know, I pulled out my timeline for my Revelation timeline. What did I do with that? Let me see. Oh, I know where it's at. Hold on, guys, real quick. I'll be right back. I have this it's pretty crazy. I'm gonna frame it. It's like the book of Revelation kind of like timeline. And oh, you won't be able to see it because it's gonna be blurry because I have a blur filter on. But I was reading that today, and I was like, man, it doesn't even matter what if I fall on the right side of history, because this is all so temporary, you know. So I don't even know if that statement even means anything. But if it does mean something, I think we'll be okay and be on the right side of history. Oh, yeah. Best group chat ever. Always and forever. And unless you guys are berating me, then I hate the group chat. No one's ever berated me. Not yet. Or else my lovely moderators get rid of it. We just don't want there to be argument, you know, like vicious, ugly argument. We can have discussion and debate, but I'm thinking about doing the call-in show pretty soon. I have worked out all the kinks, and so it will be a phone number to call in on, so then you can still kind of watch it on your phone, because you know you can do other things while you're on your phone. So maybe this weekend we can try to do the call-in show. It just depends on how my next couple days go. I got a 3-day pay notice on my tattoo shop, and so I'm just hustling up some funds to pay that. And that's not me asking for you guys for help. I got plenty of other things I can work up, but I am gonna do some shows where it's going to be like a Ask Me Anything show for super chats. So like you could pay $1 and you can ask me anything, and I will answer it like 1,000,000% with honesty, and it can be anything. Yeah, so I'm going to do maybe one time a week or something, do that. Because I used to get super chats and then like donated memberships, and you know those have stopped months ago, and I don't quite know why those stopped, but they did. Yeah, I just don't know why. Maybe just the people that did those just don't watch anymore. but I definitely do not encourage people to ever super chat or donate anything to the After the Bars if they're on fixed incomes, if they don't have it completely extra, like extra. Like, make sure you tithe. If you're a Christian, make sure you're tithing first, and do those things. So that's just kind of how I feel about that entire situation. Grateful says, I will be AWOL for a few days. Big things happening with me. Going to Vegas Saturday for a few days to celebrate my birthday. Heck yeah. And get married. What? Oh, I just said it just like my recording. What? Well, congratulations, Grateful. That's amazing. I thought you were married. I don't know why I thought that. Going to Vegas in a few days to celebrate my birthday and get married. Because I thought you bought Grateful's the only one in the world that has a After the Bars hoodie. John is about to be the owner of a After the Bars hoodie here pretty soon too. But yeah, that's crazy. Well, congratulations, and be careful in Vegas. It really is the city of sin. Just keep your guard up. It's gnarly. I always feel so exhausted when I leave there. And I'm always just there to visit someone. I don't participate in the gambling anymore, not like I used to. And I used to go to punk rock shows and get in fights. That was like a thing, a thing to do. But amazing, man. Amazing. And happy birthday. Yeah, man, that is so cool. Well, I tell you what, if you hit big, I mean, like, get like, $100,000 or something, and some winnings, I could always use $50 over here at After the Bars. That would be great. It could be, you could tithe to After the Bars. So yeah, that's funny. And if you get $1 million, I could use $100. How about that? Hey, Darcy's 3, good to see you today. I'm so awesome here. Yeah, that's gonna be cool. Yeah, you'll be ready to get the hell out of there once you're there for a while. But yeah, that's amazing. Well, that's a perfect note to end the show on. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna try to be here every day, and we'll just get the show back up and running how it used to be, and yeah, there are links in the on the main homepage. There's a community link where you're supposed to be able to post stuff. There's a link to the Facebook group on Facebook. We're going to be doing some cool things with music and recovery over there pretty soon. Once I just need these YouTube things to pay for itself, and so that's what I'm working on to make happen. So I'll be able to pay more attention to everything as that happens. And well, I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming out. It takes me like 40 minutes to say goodbye. That's right. Moves like Jagger. Man, I wish I had my disco and theme song ready to go, but I don't. Damn it. All right, guys. You guys have an amazing day. I will see you tomorrow. If I don't see you before that, I might do an upload today. We'll just have to wait and see. Mahalo.
Stay loud. Don't be woke. Stay wild. Stay awake. This was more